is there positivity from being negative? Now, if you're a positive person, positive outlook, the old adage, you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar, and on and on and on it goes. And, always look on the bright side of life. There's a song. Doc Braccio says there's some positivity can come out of negativity. Okay, my head swims. I don't understand, but Doc Braccio does. And he joins us now, Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services, and our weekly visit with, hey, what's up, Doc? Good morning, Doc Braccio. Hey.
Good morning, Mike. And this does seem a little inconsistent because the first thing most persons would say who know me, if they heard me say that negativity can be more helpful than positivity, would be the good Dr. Braccio is thinking clearly. Well, I'd argue I'd say this is true if you use negativity in a positive way. Again, someone would want to know, well, how do you use negativity in a positive way? Isn't negativity always negative? Well, the answer is there is something called negativity bias. This means it is natural for human beings to think negatively prior to doing things or taking risks. There are times this helps a person not to fail or even do things that are potentially dangerous. Just an example of how to use negativity in a positive way would be if a person desired a raise in their work. Well, a person could be afraid to do this, to ask for this, thinking negatively about how a rejection could be painful emotionally and that the employer could even become upset with him are things to really consider when asking for a raise. Now, that, of course, would be negativity. Now, there's nothing wrong with starting out with the potential problems about asking your employer for a raise. You use the negativity or problems that could occur and then try to turn them into positive solving statements that could include like, I feel I haven't done the work and deserve a raise, or I'm willing to take the risk of being told no, or even my employer being upset with a request, or I'll use a potential, rejection as an awareness that I'm not being treated fairly, or even I can believe that I need to find new employment if I don't feel I'm being treated fairly.
Okay.
Well, these are things you can do, and also you can use examples other than a raise. I just use that as a simple one. But in your life, and you can do it in your home, in relationships, social settings, employment settings, literally anywhere, Mike, where decisions have to be made. Using negativity by looking for potential problems is certainly a good way to find possible solutions when you otherwise might not, if you just assume everything is rosy and you're not going to have problems, you're going to go into business, or you're going to do this, or you're going to do that. You've got to start looking at, whoa, what other things might happen here? So, because I believe in the old saying that success comes when opportunity and appropriate training and experience come together. And in order for one to have the success resulting from appropriate education and experience, there had to be times early on that the person questioned what field they're going into, and is this what do they really need to have the life they want? And really, often when persons are making these decisions, they can start out negatively, like, I don't have the funding, I don't have the ability, this just doesn't seem like something I can succeed, I don't want to spend that many years doing it. Well, the person uses this negativity with the goal of using this negativity bias to help them problem solve and make good decisions. And really negative thinking can be very important and helpful for the person to be successful. Now, a danger, Mike, and a big one for a person is if they're basically negative by nature and refuse to seek out solutions, then negativity is destructive to the person, and success, sadly, may end up as an illusion. So you have to make a choice not to allow that to happen, but use negativity as something positive and problem solving. So I think if you take a look at this, that if you're going to make good decisions, you do have to look at what are the possible problems that can occur here, and then you start going to solutions. If you just start right off, well, I know this is going to work, I can go into business here and be really successful, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, you might be successful in your business, but you really do want to get a business plan. Okay, if you're going to ask for something in work, or you want a new job, or you want to move, or whatever, you really have to. You may start off with, golly, can I do that? Is this a good idea? Who am I negatively going to impact this on? But then go to the positive side. So negativity can be positive. The danger is if you're a negative person or too negative, you're not going to do anything because you're going to find everything wrong with what could happen potentially, and then you won't succeed in life. So what we're talking about here is using negativity to be positive, if that makes sense.
Boy, it does now that you mention it and you explain it. When I first saw this, you sent this to me yesterday. I was like, exactly how you started. You said, as he lost his mind or something like that. I thought, Doc Braccio, okay, now you're out there. I don't know, negativity, positivity, but I get it. Okay, I get it. And doesn't it help you surround yourself? I mean, you kind of become the people that you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
And so you got to be careful there too, though, because if you surround yourself with nothing but positive people who are just always up, that could, man, it's like living in a candy store. That gets old real quick too. There's a balance, and that's the thing, we always struggle for the balance. My buddy Randy, you'll love this. Best friend, I've known him since I was 5. You tell him something, and he'll always say, okay, good. Well, I fell and broke my leg. Okay, good. What? But then he'll always figure out how to turn it. Well, because now you got some time off and you can reflect and you're going to, and he always is looking at that. Is there a danger in that, you think? Okay, good.
Well, I think the only danger is, we want to be positive and we really want to be successful. And when we look at positive and successful people, there was some, in order to make good decisions over time, there was what we'll call this negativity bias, where you, as human beings, we will take a look and, whoa, Nellie, is this a good idea? Is this reasonable? Impulsive people run the risk, and they do have problems in life, okay, when they move too quickly on things. It's kind of the summum bonum. There's the Aristotle, the golden mean. You just have to get a balance. And before you do things, you plan it, okay? Like, in terms of when you took this position, okay, with your position here on the radio, you made some choices somewhere in there. Everybody does when they're doing something, and you weigh them. But you first think, well, is this really what I want to do? Is there something I'd rather do differently? How does this work out in terms of professionally, financially, happiness? Call it all the ingredients that go in there. But part of getting to that point is also balancing whatever negativity there could be. I mean, in life, like what would a person want to do differently? Whatever. Just as a general rule, if you talk to people and you get to know them, and you'll find, well, how did you get into this field? How did you do this? Did you have questions about it? Did you think this was the right thing? What pulled over, that you determined to spend years, whether you want to become a skilled trade person, whether you want to be, a radio person, if you want to go into whatever it might be. So there has to be kind of if not negativity that it's going to destroy you and you're not going to move forward and you become depressed. Not that type. No, it's the idea of using negativity like, well, is this going to work? Is this something I can do? Is it reasonable? Does it give me the kind of life that I really want? There are all this whole list of questions that a wise person uses prior to running off and making decisions, particularly big decisions. But they can be for small decisions too. Like, and if you really think about it, Mike, good decision making does include any possible drawbacks too. You have to look at what are the drawbacks. So that's in any business plan or anything we do in life. But when I say it, like using negativity, and when I talk to people on it, and I have over the years, they'll say, well, that's not you. You're kind of an upbeat kind of person. I says, well, I am. On the other hand, you have to take a look at, is this really practical? Is this going to, work? The old, selling ice up in northern Greenland. I mean, that's probably not a good job, you might say, but I'm sure they'd like, I put it in a nice carton. I'm sure they're going to want it.
There you go.
That might be a bad idea. So these are things you just have to take a look at and use negativity in a positive way in the overall process of problem solving and making good decisions.
when it comes to is the glass half full or half empty, I'm just glad there's something in the glass. You know what I mean? It's
That's a positive view.
Yeah, that's true. Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services. I appreciate you as always. Thank you for being part of our fine, upstanding broadcast here. And you and I'll get back together next week. What do you say?
Sounds good. You're a champion, buddy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, see ya. Bye-bye. Dr. John Braccio, awesome. Regional Psychological Services here in East Lansing. And and sometimes you need help. People like Doc Braccio. Ryan Schmel standing by. We're going to talk about Joe Biden's last day and the pardons that he did literally minutes before the inauguration. Yes, 1320 WILS. It's 7:20. Back in a minute.